Hey everyone, welcome back to Shelf Life Lego for another city update. And we are making some good progress so far. So today we will be adding another mini modular in our mini mod section. One right here that will be facing the road on this side. And today's set is actually based off of set 60233, Donut Shop opening from 2019. So let's get started. So as always, I'm starting with a 16 by 16 base plate, and I went ahead and started with my bottom layer of tiles and plates. And today I'm going to, there's a lot of Lego toy stores, but I'm actually going to build it based off of this sticker and figured it would be fun to do a more specific like toy train store. So that's what we're going for. So to start with, I'm just going to put in a counter. A couple 1x4s. And put in tile for the counter. And so then on this front part, that'll actually be facing the window, I'm going to put in a row of plates. And then a couple 1x2 jumpers. And then 1x1 tile. So what I'm going for here is I based all of the trains inside the train store loosely off of real Lego sets. And I'm not very good at micro scale or mini scale building, so I'm going to give it my best. But like I said, loosely based off of. So the first train that we're trying to replicate to some degree is set 60198, the cargo train from 2018. So we're going to start with our train wheels. And I know absolutely zero train terminology, so you can let me know in the comments what they're actually called. And then our white layer. A couple of 1x2s for our green layer. And then dark bluish gray layer. So hopefully it looks enough like the train that you can tell what it's based on. And then I'm going to go ahead and start layering in some wall. All right, so I got my first row of bricks in, and in this open corner here I thought it would be fun to do like a train display, like a train table for kids to play on. So to get started, I'm do 1x1 in the corner, 1x2 brick, medium nougat. Bring these macaroni curved bricks, and another 1x2 over here. And we're just going to put another level in. And then over on this side, I'm actually going to use 1x1 modifieds or snot pieces. And then we're going to top it off with our tabletop. All right, so next we need some controls for someone to control the train on the table. Put in a little antenna and a gauge. And then some controls here. And then we're going to go ahead and add some train track. To anchor the train, I'm going to use 1x2 jumper. And then these 1x2 grill pieces to replicate tracks to some degree. Then I thought it would be fun just to kind of put in some basic train scenery, at least to give the impression that there's a like a train display. So we're going to add some rock work. Maybe the hint of a tunnel. Little snow-capped mountain. Water feature. So just to give the impression. And then we're going to add a tree element. And then we can go ahead and build our train. So this train is based on set 60052, another cargo train from 2014. Start with more train wheels. Add our blue layer. We're going to add our orange. Window. In the front. And finally, blacktop. So again, hopefully you kind of get the impression of what it's based off of. And we'll go ahead and add it to the train table. And I know it's extremely out of scale, but it's just to give the impression. So there you have the train table. I'm going to go ahead and start adding some more wall. So I started my second row of bricks, and I left a couple of spots here that we're going to fill in. So this first area here, I'm going to put a shelf that I use plates and jumpers, and we're going to go ahead and put another train in on the shelf. And this train, you guessed it, another cargo train. This one is 7939 from 2010. And we'll go ahead and start building that in here. And this is actually going to be a cargo train with 2 cars behind it. And the cars aren't based off the set. They're just based with pieces I had laying around. But the main engine, start with our 1x4 dark bluish gray. Couple of 1x1 yellow cheese slopes. One by 2 plate. And then the roof. And then we can go ahead and I added a coal car. And then I'm going to be adding a lumber car. 1x1 clip. And then the lumber is one of these like twig pieces. And we'll just throw that on there. And I forgot, I added another tree to the table display, and I forgot to add my cash register. There you go. All right, so for this area back here, again, a row of plates and jumpers. We'll put that in here. And this train is based off of set 10277, the crocodile locomotive from 2020. And I just assembled this off camera. We got one end here. We have our middle section. And again, loosely based, very loose. And the other end. But I think it's enough to tell what it's based on. And then we can go ahead and just fill in to bring it up to level. And then I can go ahead and add another layer of bricks. All right, put the next section of wall up. And like below, I left a couple of sections open to add some shelves and some more trains. So on this side, same deal as before. Plates and jumpers. Put in a shelf. And on this shelf, we're going to do, based on set 10194, Emerald Knight from 2009. And we have the engine. Put that in. And then we have one of the cars. And you put that in. All right. And on this back wall, we're going to add another shelf. And this will be for set 7897, the passenger train from 2006. And kind of the same on the front end as it is on the back end. So go ahead and add that in. And I'm going to go ahead and save the front until I get all the walls up. It's a little bit easier to put on in the end. So put another level in, and before I get any further, I just wanted to point out that this section here you can see through the tunnel. So what I went ahead and did was I'm going to add a stack of 1x1 in black, at least just to give the impression that the tunnel goes deeper than it does. And now it looks dark in there. All right, I'm going to go ahead and finish the walls up until the next shelves. All right, so before we continue, just real quick, I added a 1x4 modified snot piece over here. We're going to add something in a minute. But for now, I'm adding a shelf that goes the length of the store. So we can add a couple more trains. And the first train I'm going to add is set 60197, another passenger train from 2018. And it's very similar to the other passenger train, just different colors. So go ahead and add him up here, middle car, and then the other end. And then finally we can add set 7930 passenger train from 2010. And there you have all of the trains on display. Now I'm going to go ahead and finish doing the walls, and we'll be right back. All right, and here we have the majority of the walls put in. And now over here on the snot piece, we're going to go ahead and put this 2x4 tile. Like they had a piece of a train that they wanted to display, maybe a local train or something. And then we're going to add some minifigures. So at first I'll add this little guy here, who'll be controlling the train. And this little girl who's looking at buying one over here. And then we have this store worker. And fun fact, it's always a safe bet to employ engineers because they're always training and they have great conduct. All right. Now we can go ahead and add in our front windows. We're using red, just like the set. And then a door with a skate piece for a door handle. And then we can add our row of 2x bricks to lock everything in place. And I'll just go ahead and add the whole row and lock in with the tiles. And then finally, this front facade. And there you have the base of our building. So for the roof, just plain plate structure. Go ahead and pop that on. Nice and snug. And then we can add our front sign. Just a row of one plate, one brick. And then what inspired the build, our sign here. All right. So all I have to do is finish the front sidewalk and we should be done. So out front of the store, I wanted to put in a little train ride that was inspired by Series 25 Train Kid, which is ironically how he was conceived. So I put together a basic little ride built off this minifig. So I'm going to go ahead and add a base layer of plates for the ride using black here. 2 2x4s, and then off to the side I'm going to use 1x2 tile and a 1x1 plate. And then for the ride itself, we're using more 1x2 grills to emulate some resemblance of train tracks on the front and the back, and then just 1x4 tiles to finish it off on the sides. And then in the middle we just have a couple of 1x2 jumpers. And on the side I'm going to build I guess where you put the coins to ride the machine. So use a 1x1 round here, and then we're going to do headlight brick with just a tile on top to finish it off, and then a cheese slope in, I guess, trans orange. And there you have that. So to make the ride, the issue I was having is I didn't want his legs to come down and show or to support the train. I just thought that looked kind of silly. So I needed a way to attach him to the train and then the train to the ground to at least look kind of like a ride. So what I came up with is using one of these 1x2 plates with holes in it and attach him to that. And then up through the bottom using one of these 3 long bars. Push that up in place. And then I can use a bushing to hold it in place. And I couldn't use normal sized bricks or plates, they just don't fit inside between the wheels. And then I was using 2 of these 1x1 round plates with holes. And I was hoping that the black kind of made it look like hydraulics or rubber gaskets of some sort. And we have that on there. And then I already have another one built. And then we can just put him on the jumper plates. Looks pretty good. And then we'll just put back on the smokestack. I know it's blowing away from him, but I don't want it blowing in his face either. And there we go. So here's our finished product. Toy train store. Kind of a different take on the donut opening set, the toy building from that set. And so now all we have to do is put it in our city. All right, and here we have it in place next to our fancy bag store. And I think that looks pretty good. And in the near future, we'll be making some more mini mods for this area up in here. But for now, I think that'll do it. So like, comment, and subscribe. That's always appreciated. And we'll see you next time. Thanks.